Hello and welcome to How Are You Holding Up, a mental health podcast by the depressed for the depressed. I'm Chris,
And I'm Lindsey.
and we're frustrated.
Yes,
Starting though, Lindsay, how are you holding up?
I'm frustrated. How are you holding up, Chris?
I'm frustrated, and I'm also, like, not great, but one probably has to do with the other.
Well, let's go with you first.
Fuck. First off, thank you to everybody who came and was on Patreon and joined us for our game sesh. That was fun. We had a fun time with that. We should do that again real soon. We got
Yeah.
spooked.
Yeah.
It was good times. Now I am officially what now? A week and a half, I think, off of antidepressants,
Yeah.
something like that. Um, and I'm hitting the lows again. I'm hitting the section where everything sucks and I hate everything and everything is infuriating and I'm frustrated with everything and nothing is getting better and it never will.
Yeah.
It's like I tried writing out exactly like everything going through my head and like cataloging it and making sense of it and everything that I want to not hate, I end up hating anyway, or just being disgusted or frustrated. The key, like the same factor on all of the above is I feel frustrated.
Yeah, something that doesn't get talked about with any with any seriousness because anger and sadness
Hmm.
are so big.
Yeah,
And I think frustration is something that it's like, "Oh, no, you're frustrated." Oh, no. But it's like I think it also mixes with like feeling defeated but angrier.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
You know?
it's quite literally in the face of improvement. It is the complete and total denial of progress. Right? Like,
Right.
that's where frustrated feelings come from. It's, "Oh, this thing is going really well," and there it goes,
Yeah.
right in the shitter.
Yeah.
Like, everything that we hope for, everything that we try and do better, and we try to get better, and we keep finding things that it's like, "Oh, this is a nice thing. This is a really nice thing. Let's focus on this really nice thing. Oh, this really nice thing, it's fucking terrible in
So
reality."
how are you doing with being off meds and feeling like you're back to 1? Is that what you're kind of at right now?
I'm back to -1.
I
Like,
would like
ugh,
cuz I feel like okay, there was a bit there where like you're like, "Okay, I'm getting my emotions back, I'm getting my verbiage back, I'm getting a couple things back," but there's a lot of anger and there's a
yeah.
flood of just emotions and just not wanting to deal with any of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, completely, 100%. Like, now I'm dealing with, everything that I was denying for so long, where it's like, everything about myself that I hate, everything about myself that I wanna change, everything that, you know, whatever facet of my life I'm not happy with, I'm I'm incapable of enacting change, no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's like, no matter what I do, and I sit there and I think about that, and I'm like, "Well, am I even trying? Am I trying to make things better? Am I trying to not get angry at everything around me?" Like, no, apparently I'm not because here I am doing it again.
I
Like, how do you do this? How do you human?
How do you human? For me, I think I've been really struggling a lot lately. I know I've kind of been glazing over it the last few episodes because I'm still, it takes a long time for me to process or even
Yeah,
want to talk about anything particularly that has to do with what I'm dealing with. Um,
yeah,
because I'm so sick of myself sometimes. And particularly right now, I'm just so frustrated because I have not been diagnosed yet, with oh, my cat has come over to sit on my lap. I have not been diagnosed with ADHD, but I have learned a significant amount over the past 2 years on what ADHD is and how it's not what we were all taught. We were like taught that ADD and ADHD were different, etc., and that like ADHD is just someone who's like really crazy and hyper and like moving around, and we all know that kid, but that's not
Yeah.
true. And for females, it also shows up different. And
Yep.
anyway, for me, I'm pretty sure that I have ADHD, and what some of that means anyway is there's a lot of consequences to having it. One of them being something that people lovingly refer to as ADHD tax. And ADHD tax is that lovely extra money that you end up having to spend because you cannot remember things or you have so much going on in your mind that it's just been put away on a shelf somewhere. So, for example, I had a toll that I hadn't paid, and my boyfriend also has ADHD, was like, great, like, I'll remind you, we'll do it, we'll pay, it's like $20, whatever, it wasn't a big deal. Well, we forgot for 3 months, and I got a
Oh,
bill for
fuck.
$200 for it. And then it was like the other day I realized, oh, wait, I haven't gotten like my $600 stimulus package, and I make no money. I make below 35,000 a year.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, so it's definitely not like I don't qualify. And I need it? No, but like, having a little boost is nice because
Yeah.
I did get COVID and I didn't work for 4 weeks. So I, looked into it, and it was like, oh, right, that IRS piece of paper that got sent to me because there was some kind of question on my past taxes that I ignored because it was so stressful and I got put into a pile. That was probably for that. And now I'm not going to get it because it's been closed. Now it can like go to my taxes or whatever, which isn't going to make a difference. And I'm frustrated
Jesus
because I
Christ.
adopted a cat who is wonderful and loving and wants to be with me all the time. And she's talkative, she's beautiful, and she pees everywhere in the house. And I talked to a bunch of people about it, and they were like, put her on medicine or buy these very expensive pheromones that can go in your house, and take her to the vet because maybe she has like UTI or crystals. And I've been like looking into it, and it's part of her breed. She's a mixed wildcat breed. And I have tried so much, and I have poured so much money into this animal who I am now, of course, in love with. And I cannot imagine giving her up. But I like carpet clean and struggle to like focus on just scrubbing everything down and to make sure my house isn't disgusting. And then she goes over and she pees on it. And it's enough to make you just sit down and want to cry. And it's so hard because I have a very difficult time regulating my emotions, regulating how I come off to other people. So like if I'm really stressed, if someone asks me a question, like I sound extremely, extremely angry or accusatory of them. And I didn't even realize I did
Mm.
that because I meant it the other way. I also have a hard time regulating like how to keep up with daily tasks when I don't get home until 8:30, sometimes 9, and I can't keep a clean house. And like having a messy area, like a really messy area, is so frustrating because I don't want to be that person who is gross. I don't want to be that person who has to like shut down her brain when she walks into her house because it's overwhelming. It's too much. And I have to go into like the one kind of clean corner of the house because I can't even deal with the rest of it. And then I try to deal with it, and it all just I like do little bits of each room, and then by the end it doesn't look like I've done anything even though I spent 6 hours cleaning. It doesn't look like anything has been changed. And it's so frustrating because growing up I was accused of being lazy or dirty or messy or like unhygienic, and I so badly don't want to be that person. And I don't want to be a person who has depression. I don't want to be a person who has ADHD. I don't want to be a person who is struggling every day. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to feel lost. I don't want to feel like I can't make enough money. I don't want to feel that way. And I don't know how to
Yeah.
change that. I couldn't get through college. I had horrible anxiety and depression. I was coming out of an extremely abusive relationship with a family member that destroyed me as a human being in high school.
Yeah.
And I had no tools to handle college. And I ignored
No.
the classes that I shouldn't have, and then I got kicked out. And so then I jumped from community college to community college, trying to outrun myself, moving around the state. And I never finished. And I have all these classes that I have like C's and D's in, or like just fails or dropouts, just tons of them. I think I have like 8 different community colleges. And so the idea of even just going through all of that and getting all my transcripts and trying to figure that out, like I can't. And I feel like I have a
Mm.
wall that I'm going to hit every time I try to grow in a company or grow, and I don't even wanna be the 9 to 5. I'm miserable in 9 to 5. I
Yeah.
I'm very creative person, and I wish that was taken seriously. I wish that was taken like it was seen as a good thing to be a creative person, not like, oh, Lindsay, like, oh, always trying to do the acting, or I guess she got like one gig out of 1,000, 2,000 that she's tried for. It's so like eye rolly, especially living in LA. Everyone's an actor, and it's just so frustrating for me. And I'm 32 and I have very little path for myself. I have done a lot of work in trying to figure out what it is I want, what it is that will sustain my life, what it is that will allow me to have a home and health insurance and stuff. And there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into it. And it's frustrating. And I think today I had a moment where I was trying to clean and like be positive before I go into a very grueling schedule next week. And I just sat at the top of the stairs after like vacuuming and cleaning and trying to do laundry and trying to remember all these little things. And I just kind of numbed out. Like I just disassociated. And I was just so angry and frustrated. And I feel like, and I think the frustration comes sometimes when you look at other people and you're like, how come these people don't ever have to experience what this is like? Like I
Yeah.
have family members who have never experienced depression, or they experienced it once in college after a really bad breakup. And like, I don't mean to make that tone of voice. That's crappy. But, like, it's just like when you live with it all the time and you live with all these little mental health problems or these little issues that just make you feel like you're wading through molasses, it's exhausting. And on top of it all, I'm in
Yeah.
pain every day. I am in physical pain every day. It hurts for me to go up the stairs. It hurts for me to sit too long. It hurts for me to stand for more than 2 minutes. It hurts all the time. And we don't know what it is. And trying to like figure out doctors and stuff, it's exhausting. And so I'm just feeling overwhelmed and frustrated. And there's not even like a strong, like, I'm so sad or I'm so angry. It's just, I'm so frustrated.
Yeah. I think you pretty much just stole the words out of my own fucking brain, by the way.
Really.
It's been exactly how I've been feeling. Like, not even, like, exaggerating. Every single thing that you just said, I'm sitting there just going, "Yeah, no, yeah, me. Yeah, me too." Like, you and I had very similar college experiences. We were both gifted, quote unquote, kids in, public
Yeah.
school,
Yeah.
which, obviously expectations, oh boy, great, we're the gifted ones. So then as soon as you fall off of that, it's immediately you're this sort of weird pariah that can't, handle you can't handle living because life isn't supposed to be easy. Life is supposed to be hard. Everything you get that's worth having comes with a challenge, obviously. It's like, no, fuck off. Sometimes it doesn't need to be a fucking challenge. Sometimes we don't need to engage in this Sisyphean bullshit when we can just sit there and, I don't know, the alternative is obviously not great.
I mean, the cards are stacked against some people, right? Like some
Yeah.
of us, our win is that we got out and we showered that day. Like we
Yeah.
got out of bed, and that was huge. And it's so frustrating that other people do not understand that struggle and do not understand what depression is. And so instead you get labeled growing up like lazy or um God, I don't even know. I'm blinking because I'm just so angry
W
and
well, I mean,
frustrated.
it's made worse because, like, by comparison, there's always the part of this conversation where guilt comes in, because then you think about it and it's like, "Well, do I really have it that bad? Do I
Right.
really have like, I have a roof over my head, I have food in my stomach. Is it really that bad?" Yes! Yes, it's fucking bad, and it's not supposed to be compared.
Yep.
It's not a goddamn competition. We are all fucking miserable in our own special snowflakey ways. We are all fucking miserable, and there's nothing we can do about it.
I think it's hard, especially when, like, you have done the work, and somewhere in your head, you're like, "I've been promised that if I go to therapy, and I journal,
Yeah.
and I have these mental health apps, and I have good friends around me, and I take the medicine, and I do all this stuff, I will get better. It will
Yeah.
get easier. I will understand myself more." And it's like, great, maybe you understand yourself better, but it sure hasn't helped anything. Like, you're still
No.
depressed, you still hate yourself, you still and it's like, I have days where I don't hate myself. I have really good days now, but I also have the days where all of those really horrible things that have been said to me and that I have said to myself come rushing back, and it's all like, "Yeah, you are a piece of shit. You're so fucking pathetic. Like, you can't even what the fuck are you doing? Look at yourself. Can you imagine if somebody came over to your house right now and looked like, God, you were so
Mhm.
embarrassed," all that kind of crap. And it's
Yeah.
so hard because it's like I've done so much therapy. I have done the meds and I have done the exercising and I have yes, I have made progress. If I look at my life, I am in a far different place than I've been. But I am now I think struggling to get to that next place of I'm scared. I think I'm scared because I don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't know what's going to happen to my future. I don't know what my financial path is going to be. I don't have a career. I don't have an education. I don't you know what I mean? And no one is going to save me and I have to just figure that out. But what if the issue comes in like you can't figure it out always if you have a ton of mental health problems. And I know that's when it's like, well, then you get a coach or you get a mentor or you get more therapy. I don't even
More
know
therapy,
what
yeah.
the answer is. And I know that maybe this is just a frustrating day for me, but it's still
Yeah.
there and I'm experiencing it.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you because I'm sitting there like I just I'm now obviously on the track for finding a new psychiatrist. I filled out a form online where they were like, "Oh, do you want psychiatry and therapy?" And I'm like, "You know what? Yeah, fuck it. That would be actually really nice. Let's go for the double whammy again." But I'm so in this headspace right now of I have tried therapy in many different forms, very different variations, and and a lot of the times, like, I look back on the times that I had success in ways of bettering myself and whatnot, and I always go back to, like, well, I had somebody literally dragging me, kicking and screaming the whole way. I mean, I'm incapable of supporting myself, obviously, so I have to make sure that I have, daddy dearest to come and bring me over to wherever the fuck I need to be as a human
Yeah.
being. But like, I can't,
You don't want to do
I
that. You want to
can't,
do it yourself.
I want to do it myself. And more importantly, I can't just believe things. I can't. I've tried. I can't. I've said it before and I'll say it a fucking million times. Anytime I do something, I ask why, and I need a fucking reason. I can't just take things at face value, and I can't just take things at the idea that yeah, no, it's fine. It'll get better. No, I need to see proof. I need goddamn fucking evidence that there's a reason for me to deal with this bullshit. I can't tell why I keep doing things. It should be enough to just lie down and die and not worry about anything else anymore because nothing matters and none of this will amount to anything for any meaningful amount of time. Like, yeah, I people would grieve and then they would die and then people would grieve them ad infinitum. Like, these are the thoughts that keep echoing in my head, and it's like, how the fuck do I combat infinity when infinity is the thing that is making my nihilism all the more powerful? I can't fight infinity. I can't fight this mental goddamn gymnastic battle because I'm not actively suicidal, I'm passively suicidal. And that in and of itself is a hard thing for a psychiatrist to kind of wrap their head around. Like, every time I bring it up, they're just like, "Are you actively, like, do you have plans?" I'm like, "No, but if a truck fell down, like, off of a building and, like, was careening towards me, I probably wouldn't move."
Yeah.
Like, it is infuriating to be this passive about my own life on top of it, where I'm like, "Yeah, I could die, whatever, fuck it," but I know that's not the right answer.
Yeah. Welcome to depression, folks. And being the human, this is the human experience. This is, it's like, I don't even know. I wonder if everybody experienced these feelings and thoughts, because I know most people, as I've gotten older, I've realized most people don't talk about their feelings and thoughts, honestly. And I didn't know that until I got like in a lot
Mhm.
of trouble for continuing to do that. And so I wonder if like everyone, because I've experienced the same exact thing that you're experiencing right now. Currently, now it's more of like I hope I die, or I can just throw myself off of a ledge because it would like punish myself. That's where my brain is with the suicide thing, which is
Mm.
very different than
Mhm.
like I'm actually going to plan to kill myself, which I am not in.
Yeah.
But yours is more of like, it literally doesn't matter that I exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's and of course it does. That's the worst part about it is I know I'm a hypocrite. I know deep down inside, like, deep down in my heart of hearts, I know that I matter to people. I know that there are people out there that if I were to die or go away or any number of whatever fucking euphemisms we wanna use, that it would affect them.
And
And
things matter
it
to
would
you as well.
yeah, sure. I do occasionally think about that, but then I forget.
Mhm.
Or maybe they don't matter as much as I thought. I mean, I don't know why. Like, I look back and I think about the times when I was so gung ho about being better and getting better and improving myself, and I don't know what drove me. I don't know. I
I
don't
think
have
maybe
any.
part of it was so that you could experience meaning and joy again.
And that's yeah, I would love for that to even be a possibility anymore. It isn't. It feels like it isn't. And trying to convince myself that it could be. It could be a possibility that I could feel joy, that I could feel happiness, that I could one day not scowl at waking up the next day. Like, I don't know how to convince myself of it.
I think that something I'm hearing from both of us is that we both feel stuck. And that's where the
Yeah.
frustrating is. Like, you feel stuck in your cycle of not feeling like
Mhm.
it matters, and I'm feeling stuck in all of my weird mental problems that are bogging me down from keeping me from being the person I want to be.
Yeah. We're both kept from being the people that we wanna be,
Yes, we're both kept
ultimately.
from being the people we want to be. Yeah.
Like, I don't
And we have
want to
moments.
feel this
And
way.
that's why it's frustrating, I think, too, to explain to people, because they're like, "Well," and they try to like talk you back into like no, like that's not like who you are. That's not how people see you. That's not how you come off. That's not how, like, I remember you were having fun when blah blah blah, or you did really well when you did this. If you could only just do this, or you could only do that, would make it better.
If
And
it were that simple.
they're that simple. And sometimes the worst, no, that's not the worst, but one of the worst things is like getting better for a little bit, feeling something different, experiencing something different for
Yeah.
a little bit, and then it all goes back to being the same.
That was my last week. That was last week for sure. Where it was like the first half of the week being really good, feeling something different, and then feeling everything else.
Is it our society? Is it our culture? Is it the fact that like there are so many humans on this earth now, we don't really need other humans as much as we used to? Like tribes used to so depend on each other and everybody had a gift and everybody needed one another. Now it's like I feel like I am a waste. I feel like I am something that is just like being dealt with, like, oh, it's another human. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not,
We are gnats flying in the dung heap of a world
yeah, like
and just like one
I'm
of a
not.
million.
And can I help other people and stuff? And sure, like we try. Like this podcast is one of those things that we were trying to show people what it's like. So if they feel the same things, hey, you're not alone. You're not a bad
Yeah.
person for feeling these ways or thinking this stuff. But man, I don't know why this happens, and I don't know like what the fixes are for different things, and it's frustrating.
Yeah. It really is. And I mean, it's going to be hard for people to listen to this episode. You've already gone 26. You've been listening
If you've
26 minutes
gotten
of
this
us.
far.
Yeah, good job. Thanks. Congratulations. You either are in the same boat as us or you have a kink that we need to discuss. But ultimately, like, I don't, unlike most of our episodes, we usually try to end them with like something that, we can truly say that, things don't always end up this way. You may feel this way, but yeah, it'll pass. But when when you're feeling this way and when you are going through these thoughts, these feelings, these emotions of complete hopelessness and removal from the human condition in terms of like it being a positive thing, we it's disingenuous for me to say it'll be okay and it'll get better because that's not what I believe. I don't believe things get better right now. I don't believe things will ever improve. I believe that I will close my eyes one day and that will be it. And to say that, that's all. That's all, folks. Like,
I
y-
believe similarly that things are waves, that things sometimes get better for a little bit and then they go back to being the way they were. Now, whether you're on medication or doing therapy or doing the work and stuff, sometimes things can change your life. And some people do forever, like get healed or fixed or whatever. And some of us
Mhm.
don't.
Yeah. Some of
So,
us continue onward until we don't. But
oblivion.
yeah, but I think ultimately all we can say is if you are feeling how we feel, have a nice rant sesh with a friend. I don't know about you, Linz. I feel a little bit better in a weird way.
I think I feel a bit better in a weird way too. So there's
It's not
that.
necessarily, yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily the best way to feel better, but at least it's exercising the demons. If you can't live with them, at least get rid of them for a minute.
Yeah.
Uh, Follow us on Instagram, social media bullshit, yada yada yada.
We would love to invite anybody who would want to join our Patreon to join and come play video games with us once every
Hmm.
few weeks on Discord. I like hearing your voices. It is fun to have people watch us play silly ass games. So there's
Yeah,
always, zoning out. That's a good survival technique.
yeah. Distractions are super duper cool, guys. They really are. I mean, I fell headfirst into like distracting myself with a game that I had played a million times earlier today. So
Perfect.
that's it. Yeah, I wasn't even like in like actively playing the game. I was just playing it and not even here. So it
Hey,
was impressive.
something not mental health related. The CIA has released 13 pages or something of no 13 million pages of classified documents. So there's probably UFO stuff in there if you want to get weird.
Oh yeah, let's get weird.
There's
At
this
least show us a potential sign of intelligent life in this universe.
there's this song, and I posted it on my Facebook. I might post it on our Facebook. Earth is Ghetto. I want to leave, and it's so good. It's such a good song,
I
and I'm into it.
I saw that. I love it. It was beautiful. I listened to it. It was gorgeous.
It was really nice. Okay,
Oh,
guys, as thank you for listening, and as always,
don't
don't
tell
tell
us
us
to
to
just
just
get
get
over
over
it.
it.